What's up guys, Syiler here with AceGamesTV, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this, it's just something I wanted to try. So let me know what you think of it in the comments below and give any feedback or anything you'd like me to talk about, or anything basically. So basically what this is going to be is a post commentary and a discussion about various things. WoW related, I'd say like 99% of the time. And this one, I wanted to talk about the Legendaries being added in MoP. Now, this isn't confirmed, so don't take this to heart, don't take this as fact. This is just data mined information, so it could change, it could just be false. And also, a quick disclosure, I've not PvP'd for a while, so I'm rusty as hell, as you'll see in the background footage. But that's fine, we'll ignore that. So basically, what we've found out at the moment is there's going to be Legendaries in the first tier. Cool. The interesting part is there's icons for an axe, for a fist, a gun, a dagger, a mace, a shield, sword, and a staff. That's every class. That's icons for every single class who is able to use a weapon. Now that's really interesting. They've never done anything like that before, and I'm going to be talking about how that's going to affect the game and possibly where you're going to be able to get these from. So we do have some of the procs data mine. Now these aren't confirmed once again, they just give you an idea of what we may see on the weapons. So on the hammer, you've got your melee attacks have a chance to blast your enemy with 10 to 16k nature damage. On the sword, we've got Jade Infused Blade. Your melee attacks have a chance to encase your enemy in Jade, stunning them for 3 seconds, only works on creatures level 90 or below, does not work on players. That's an interesting one because level 90s, so you can't stun bosses because bosses are 93, I think. And it's not going to work in PvP, so it's only really going to work on trash, and trash is only trivial for a certain period until you outgear it. So I don't quite get that, but once again, it's probably going to change. And the fist weapon, your melee attacks have a chance to set your enemy ablaze, dealing 882 damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. So that's a quick look and gives you an idea on what may be coming. Now where these will come from, apparently from the Black Prince. Now if you don't know who he is basically the last of the Black Dragonflight who isn't trying to kill everyone. He was saved, he was an egg and taken away from the Black Dragonflight and kind of brought up to not be insane, not to try and kill everyone and hate the world. And he now understands what the Black Dragonflight's done. He wants to make up for that. He basically wants to repent for what the Black Dragonflight's done and make it up to the world. A new start for the Black Dragonflight, basically. So he's now in Pandaria, he's checking it out, he's like, oh, this place is beautiful, and he's going to give you I don't know why I did that. And he's going to give you a quest chain. Apparently you'll have to hit Honoured with him to be able to start the quest chain. And you'll get reputation from killing raid creatures, as well as level 90 Mogu and Mantid in Talong Steppes or Dread Wastes. Now that's once again not confirmed, so there's going to be a bit of a rep grind before you can even start the quest chain. And there's going to be various quests to collect items, and you'll have to kill the final boss in the Terrace of the Endless Spring. And then from there on, there's a quest saying incoming. And it says that the quest will continue in 5.1 when the naval fleet lands. So, does this possibly mean that the Legendary will continue over more than one tier? We don't know. It could be that you get the Legendary and you're able to upgrade it throughout the whole expansion, which would be very, very interesting indeed. Or it could just be a fact of, it just continues a bit further down the line. Or it could just be false. It could be a quest that's not been worded properly or not in properly, basically. Now, what you'll get from completing the quest chain is the Breath of the Black Prince. Greatly empower your any piece of Shah-touched equipment, removes all existing gems and enchants. So, you're going to have to use a Shah-touched weapon, which makes me think it may come from the Shower of Fear, which is the last boss of the Terrace of the Endless Spring. He's a Shah. He may drop just pure weaponry, he may drop the mace, the sword, the shield, the blah blah blah. And then further down the line you'll be able to enchant it and turn it into a legendary. Now one thing that makes me think it'll come from there is currently on the beta when you try and enter a raid it says you must be level 90, that's their way of blocking it off. But when you try and enter the Terrace of Endless Spring, it says you must have completed the Heart of Fear, which is the Mantid raid. So I don't know if that's just a way of them keeping people out, or if you actually need to complete the Heart of Fear before you'll be able to enter the Terrace of Endless Springs. If that's the case, it's going to be similar to Nax, where you had to kill Saf before you could do Malygos. Oh, not Saf. What was it called? The dragon in Nax, anyway. Which, once again, would be interesting. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind having to do the first 2 raids before I can enter the last raid, if that's kind of harder than the other 2. I mean, we've not seen any bosses from the Terrace of the Endless Spring yet, so that could be the case. It could be an upgrade, like, kind of like you have the first 2 raids, and then, like, normal mode, and then you'll have normal mode, Terrace just in front of them, and then heroic mode. The first 2 raids will be just ahead of Terrace normal, and then Heroic Terrace will be like the hardest raid kind of thing. I don't know. We'll have to see when we actually get inside and see what item level they give us, like the pre-made item level and things like that, before we could sort of talk more about that. But in terms of the legendary side of things, everyone having a legendary is something they've never done before. They've done different types of legendaries. They've definitely experimented with how they'll make you get the legendary, from having a long ass grind to, like, the first legendary, well, the first few legendaries were very sort of RNG / grind, while the TBC ones were very RNG. You had to keep killing the boss before you could get the legendary. Now the problem with that was the legendaries were kind of pointless in a way. Because think about it this way, yeah, you got the Warglaives from Illidan, but then the Warglaives were then no longer any good in that tier because you'd already killed Illidan, so you don't need them for progression. And yes, they became good in Sunwell, but then you got the bow from Sunwell, and you had to kill the last boss to get the bow, so then the bow was no longer any use for progression, it was just to look cool. So I don't like the idea of the drop chance legendaries, like the actual full legendary dropping off the boss. I don't like that. Now in Wrath, they decided to go with the more like grindy one, where you had drop chances, but then you also had a quest chain. You had to get items, and then by the time you got your legendary, you were kind of progressing on heroic mode, so the legendary could be used to help you progress. That's great. That means your legendary not only looks cool, feels epic, feels unique and rare to you, but also helps your raid in the fact that it's not just going to be on your back doing nothing. It's going to actually help you progress. Then, come Dragon Soul, we had a rogue-only legendary, which was kind of strange because they've said, I swear they've said they've never wanted to do like a class-specific legendary. And then they go and do the rogue one, which was great, I don't mind that, but the fact that it was only useful to rogues is a bit weird. They could have made it like an axe, where it's useful to rogues and shamans, or something along those lines, but instead they just made it for one class. And it's not like rogues have had a shortage of legendaries throughout the game. So, kind of strange indeed. Now, if they actually make it so that everyone can get a legendary, that's going to change the game in quite a big way, because they have to do it right, otherwise it's just going to be a clusterfuck and they'll probably never do it again, and a lot of people complain. What I mean by this is, if they make it for everyone, then that means you have to give it to someone first. Going off the idea that they make it a grind and you've got to collect items and things like that. Depending on how rare the items are, you're going to have to focus on one person getting it first. If you're a 25-man guild, you're going to have, what, 30 to 35 people to choose from? That's going to be a hard choice. I mean, tanks and healers, depending on the procs, are going to be the more beneficial choice, but it depends how much DPS increase it is for your DPS and which DPS should get it. And then you have to choose out of the healers or out of the DPS which one in specific should get it. That's a big choice for a big guild to make. That's a very big choice, which will probably cause a lot of drama. Just saying that now, that's probably going to cause guilds to split or QQ or people to leave. And then what happens if you choose someone and they leave halfway through getting it? Then you have to pick someone else and start the grind again. Or Blizzard could take it the other way, where they make it very easy to get for a lot of people. But then the legendary ends up being not very legendary, and a lot of people will have it, so then it doesn't feel as rare. And there's no way they could make it so that only like 5 people from a guild could get it, because then people would just make a new guild or something and then go get it that way. So I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to be able to make it so that it's a good balance between how long it takes to get and how many people can get it. Now, maybe it's the case if you just get an upgraded epic and you can keep upgrading the epic, and maybe in the last tier then you'll be able to start giving people legendaries, like at the end of the expansion. But once again, it's going to come to the same point where you'll have a load of people to choose from, and you have to choose one of them. So, overall, I don't think it's going to work out well. I can't see how they could do the legendary so that it's a good balance between everyone who needs it gets it and isn't going to cause drama. Because, once again, you're in a 30-man guild, a 25-man guild that has like 30 raiders. You have to choose the specific people, and then they're going to be like, well, why has he been chosen over me? I've been here just as long as him. It's like, well, he needs to get it before you, so tough luck. Or if it's like you have to give everyone it, and it's easy to get, then if everyone's walking around with legendaries, then it's just going to feel like another weapon. It's not going to feel any legendary than it would. So, we'll have to see how it pans out, but the legendary for every class doesn't seem like a good idea. I can't see it working properly for 25-man guilds. For 10-man guilds, it wouldn't be too big of an issue, because you only have like 15 raiders, so it isn't as big as a choice, but for 25-man guilds, it's going to be horrible. So, let me know what you think of the legendaries for every class. Now, once again, this isn't confirmed. They could change it and just make it for one class, but that's currently what we're looking at. So, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what you think about what we talked about, and look out for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.